Here's breaking news from the Mooch Report. This video footage shows a drone hitting the Kremlin and exploding early this morning local Moscow time. Russia said it thwarted the attack and that Putin was not in the building at the time. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said that Putin was working from his residence at an estate just a few miles west of Moscow. The Russians claimed the attack was an assassination attempt, allegations that could not be independently confirmed by sources. The Kremlin press service statement said in the overnight hours early Wednesday, the Kyiv regime attempted a drone strike on the Kremlin residence of the president of the Russian Federation. We regard these actions as a planned terrorist act and attempt on the life of the president of the Russian Federation, carried out on the eve of the Victory Day, the May 9 parade, which refers to the annual commemoration of the Soviet Union's role in defeating Nazi Germany in World War II. The statement went on to say Russia reserves the right to respond to an attempted strike on the Kremlin where and when it sees fit. Ukraine immediately denied any involvement. Ukrainian President Zelensky's press secretary said Kyiv has no information about the so-called nighttime attacks on the Kremlin. As President Zelensky has repeatedly stated, Ukraine directs all available forces and means to liberate its own territories and not to attack others. What happened in Moscow is obviously an aggravation of the situation ahead of May 9th, an expected maneuver from our opponents, end quote. Secretary of State Antony Blinken told the Washington Post that the United States cannot confirm reports of an attack, adding that such accounts from Russia should be taken with, quote, a very large shaker of salt, end quote. Mikhailo Podolyak, an advisor to Zelensky, said Russians' accusations were predictable and likely signaled that Moscow is preparing a large-scale terrorist attack. First of all, Ukraine wages an exclusively defensive war and does not attack targets on the territory of the Russian Federation. What for? This does not solve any military issue, but it gives Russia grounds to justify its attacks on civilians. Secondly, we are watching with interest the growing number of mishaps and incidents that are taking place in different parts of Russia. The emergence of unidentified unmanned aerial vehicles at energy facilities or on Kremlin's territory can only indicate the guerrilla activities of local resistance forces. In a word, something is happening, but definitely without Ukraine's drones over the Kremlin. Ukrainian Defense Minister Alexei Reznikov said, every day and every night, Russia is officially terrorizing the Ukrainian civil population. He also pointed out that Ukraine's air defenses downed 17 of 18 Iranian-made drones launched at Ukraine recently. Quote, if some officials from the Kremlin are trying to accuse somebody, they can accuse themselves, end quote. More on this situation as the information becomes available, so if you're not already a subscriber, become one so you don't miss anything.